So the subject for today's show is what went wrong. Let's put the three questions in front. One, Perth was such a high. One of the most amazing victories in the history of Indian cricket.
Absolutely.
And against all odds, you had come here at the back of a 3-0 loss to New Zealand. You come and you almost take down Australia. Everybody thought now India has turned a corner. Australia is on the back foot. From there on, not even one test match were you able to close out, take control. And if you see, progressively the graph went down. That's point number one. Point number two, the Rohit Sharma issue, the way it was handled, has raised several questions.
Serious questions.
Is the captain and the coach on the same page? Are the players together? The way it was handled, why it was handled in that manner. You were part of the Gautam press conference. My answer remains the same, that comment. That allows so much speculation and total lack of transparency. That's basically point number two. Point number three, and the critical one, when we are saying what went wrong, we must also try and give a fix. So what is the fix? Because Indian cricket has the Champions Trophy. Indian cricket has after that, and by the way, the Champions Trophy is a massive tournament.
Absolutely.
One of the most important ICC tournaments in 50 over format.
Yes.
The top 8.
Yes.
After that you have the England series. So what is the fix? These are the three questions we are asking.
Yes.
Your first thought, and be candid, what went wrong?
Now that it's very difficult to put your finger on it. During the Perth test, when that Perth test happened, there was such a high, such a start with a bang. After that, I kept saying that this team looks like a united front. I kept saying this, I kept making this point that the performances that we're seeing are a collective performance. You see an Indian team, you finally saw an Indian team after a very long time, after that New Zealand series, after that Bangladesh series. The Indian team coming together and performing as a collective. Virat Kohli, Yashasvi KL partnership, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj as well. And Harshit Rana, of course. And what happened after that? We're not sure. Because everyone, and that was also a time when I said that this was possibly one of the first times, or after a long while, we have seen the Indian team in the same approach. Everyone looks like they're on the same page. The team looks so good on the field. So what went wrong?
Now let me sort of be the devil's advocate here and say two things. One, we have seen Rohit Sharma to be one of the most inspirational leaders India has had with the WTC.
Yep.
Right, rather the World T20. Rohit Sharma's performance in the World T20 was magnificent.
Yes,
whether it is that 40 ball 90, whether it is that semi-final, Rohit Sharma led the team from the front, was the darling of the Indian fan. Is it because Rohit himself did not perform that he collectively lost the dressing room? Because from the New Zealand series, Rohit wasn't performing.
Yeah.
Because the captain was not leading from the front, did he lose the dressing room also? As in, when he would say something, and by the way, this is an age-old cricket saying, that the dressing room understands the player first. That is this guy there or is he not there? I am sure the players must have understand that our captain is not in form. Obviously, no one will say about the batting order. Take KL Rahul. He will go and bat where he has been asked to. But had Rohit Sharma been in form, would this have happened? Is it because of the fact that the captain wasn't able to do what he did in the World T20 from that New Zealand series onwards that we have seen a progressive downslide?
It could be. It could very well be, because Rohit Sharma, we've seen him. We've seen him in the practice sessions. We've seen him how clueless and listless he's looked at times. He has been very, very frustrated on the field as well. So it could very well be that he wasn't completely there and sort of lost either the confidence of the dressing room or confidence of himself as a leader.
Let me give you another lead.
Yeah.
Did Rohit Sharma's lack of batting form make him a poor leader?
Oh wow, that's a good question. And I think there is a point there, because when you're at a level of Rohit Sharma, when you have to lead an Indian team under so much pressure after coming back from a New Zealand series, having lost the series for the first time on home soil, I think there's immense pressure there. And the fact that Rohit Sharma could not perform himself, I think he lost all confidence.
And See, my point there is Rohit is one of those players who has forever commanded enormous respect within the dressing room.
Absolutely.
Players would swear by Rohit. I mean, whatever he said, he's that big brother. And all of a sudden, and if you see his graph when he became captain, whether it is the 2022 period, 23 period, his knock-in against England on home soil, that Chennai wicket difficult to bat on, then going on to play the World Test Championship, then going on to play the 50-over World Cup on home soil, where he played that brilliant way, coming at the top. He has been able to lead from the front. All of a sudden, that graph plummeted. And with the plummeting of that graph, I think one of the reasons, the question that we asked, what went wrong, I think it starts with the top. I think it starts with the top. The
Yes.
fact that the captain's form wasn't good enough impacted the rest of the team and India lost the plot. The second question here, when the captain's form is like this, and by the way, we have seen this happen in the past, someone like a Ravi was able to step in and handle it. Was Gautam not able to? Or is it too early to judge Gautam?
Oh, he's after the New Zealand Test series. After the New Zealand Test series, I said that this is too early to test Gautam Gambhir or judge Gautam Gambhir. But at this point, I think we have enough of a sample size. We've seen the way that Gautam Gambhir has handled things, the Rohit Sharma call, the way that he presented himself in the press conference, the way that that decision was put forward. I think we can start to judge Gautam Gambhir.
Is it a veneer? Is Gautam
Could
trying
be.
to because he's
Absolutely.
under pressure?
Yes,
Is he
yes.
kind of putting up a front that, oh, I don't care, but
Everything's
inside,
fine. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think he's putting up a front. It's obviously smoke and mirrors. Why would he come out in a press conference and tell you all the woes that are in the dressing room? Of course, he would not do that. And I think it's a front because look at the way that everything's been handled. There's been no transparency.
Media reports have said time and again, that there is a rift in the dressing room.
Yes.
Agency reports said Gautam and Rohit are not conversing with each other. We have seen that, yes, Bumrah, Rohit and Gautam were in the pitch. We have seen that long conference in Melbourne.
Yes.
We have seen another long conference in Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is
Are
it...
they on the same page?
Exactly. That is the question to be asked, that are they on the same page? And in a tough tour like this, when you've lost one for a bad 2 hours, like in Melbourne, did you unravel there? When you came to Sydney, by the way the Rohit issue was handled, was that enough indication that
poor.
the dressing room had kind of divided itself?
I don't know if it's an indication of exactly that, but I'm still set on the fact that it was handled very, very poorly. The fact that you dropped the captain in such a way which could have been handled much better. It could have been handled with a lot of dignity for Rohit Sharma and for Indian fans as well. I don't think anyone liked to see that the way that it all unraveled. Gautam Gambhir coming out in the press conference and saying, we'll look at the pitch and then decide the playing 11. And for Rohit also the answer remains the same. I don't think that was the right way to handle all of that.
Okay, so now comes the second part of this. Now that we have not seen, and by the way, we have been time and again saying this, that Rohit's not retiring, Virat is not retiring, and
No,
that
they're
is a
not.
personal call, right?
No.
Now, suppose Rohit Sharma decides to play domestic cricket or decides to go to England for the A series, because Rohit Sharma better than anybody will know where he stands. And if he's taken the call to withdraw from the final test, then clearly he knows that he's not good enough there, right? That is why you've withdrawn. Or you've accepted that you have to sidestep.
Yeah.
Because you're not good enough. Otherwise you would have played. Now if he wants to continue in red ball and he says, okay, I will go and play the England Lions and all that, who's your captain? Is Rohit your captain for England? He's your captain for white ball, and both of
Yes.
us know that.
Yes.
Our viewers also know that. And it is Rohit Sharma who will be your captain for
White
this
ball,
particular test.
Champions Trophy and
But
etc.
you tell me, who is your captain for red ball?
Jasprit Bumrah, is he? But with his current injury, will we see him soon?
That is the question that one needs to ask. That when you say what went wrong, Jasprit Bumrah was one of the most inspirational leaders in Perth.
Absolutely.
He did the job. Jasprit Bumrah was brilliant in the first innings here in Sydney. he has that whole thing about him,
This-
the
this-
best in the world,
yeah.
performing, leading from the front, lot of
aura.
courage, or the aura. But is he your leader? Is he your leader in England for that series? Because if Rohit Sharma puts his name forward now, that yes, I want to play, and I will go back to red ball, I will play domestic cricket, do you continue with Rohit Sharma or you remove Rohit Sharma? You say, okay, you play as a batter, but Jasprit is captain. What does the selection committee do? I know you're smiling, and I'm trying to ask the hard questions.
No, I'm smiling because I would not want to be the selector here. I would not want to be the selector. But the way that Jasprit Bumrah and Gautam Gambhir have spoken about this team being in a transition, I think it's time to move forward. I think
So-
Jasprit Bumrah has shown you that he's the better captain. He's very, very proactive on the field. He's brought out the best of a Mohammad Siraj. He's brought out the best of a Prasidh Krishna. I think it's time to take that call.
And obviously, Jasprit with the workload issue will not play all test matches.
Yes.
So who's your deputy?
Shubman Gill, is it Shubman or is it Rishabh?
That is the question, because it's not Virat.
It's not Virat.
Here it was Virat.
But it won't be.
Exactly. How can Virat be?
No,
Because
no.
Virat too has to answer that same question with this
About
batting.
performing.
So is it Rishabh? Because Shubman too is in the same predicament. The guy doesn't perform.
It's a funny state to be in, and I can't help but laughing. But yes, I think it's going to be Rishabh. He's shown you that he can take it forward. Yes, there were those two shots that we will remember for a very, very long time. One of them cost us the match. But Shubman Gill, I think, Rishabh Pant is the deserving deputy here.
Okay, now coming to the third part of the show. What is the fix? You have gone back at almost a team which is kind of broken. A team which has seen the highs of 18 and 21 and the unity and all that. All of a sudden we are hearing rift reports, dressing room divided, players don't dine with each other. Not that they have to, but they don't spend time with each other. There are multiple different camps there, etc., etc., and all these are media speculations. Without getting into the speculation, the fact is the BCCI is unhappy with the result is a fact. That is a fact. Now, if the BCCI wants to rectify, what are the 5 points according to you that the BCCI needs to do or implement to rectify and answer that question, what went wrong?
I think number one is accountability. There needs to be accountability from
At all levels?
At all levels. At all levels. Be it the head coach, be it the support staff, be it an Abhishek Nair or a Mone Mokul or a Ryan Descarte, there needs to be accountability all over. Number two, transparency. Where is the transparency? Throughout this series, there have been so many baffling calls, and we still don't know why those calls have been made, why certain selections have been made. So transparency from the selectors as well. I think it's time for India to come up with that, because we've seen other boards do it. Australia, Cricket Australia, you've seen Josh Hazelwood was injured. Instantly they put out a statement, and they let the fans know, let the people know what is happening. But on the other hand, BCCI likes to keep everything under wraps. Yesterday as well, Gautam Gambhir coming out and saying we don't know what's going on with Jasprit Bumrah. Remember that statement where he said that they don't know the extent of the injury. How is that possible?
So you've just told me two things. You've told me transparency,
Yes.
and you've told me accountability.
Number three, go back to domestic and perform.
That's, I think, a good point. That go back to domestic cricket and perform. And here comes the most important one. Where is domestic cricket now? When you talk about red ball, you have one in end Jan, second one there. Maybe domestic cricket in February for some of the players. If your state team doesn't qualify, then you don't make that team. But you're going to play during February. None of these players will play because they will play Champions Trophy.
Yeah.
They will play IPL after that. So you're going to play 3 months or 4 months of white ball. February, March, April, May. And then you will come to red ball once again in England. So the question of going and playing domestic cricket, the BCCI will have to work out matches in England. The A-team matches are critical. The Lions games are critical. You have to play inter-squad, whatever it is in England to get yourself ready. My point number 4, and again a dodgy one. My point number 4 is, I now think that, The media handling of Indian cricket also needs to get better. The media is not your enemy. Gautam Gambhir's statements come across as if
Very aggressive.
there is a rift
Yeah.
between the media and, by the way, the media is not out there to get the players or to take them down. If you see the relations, except some players, unfortunately the relation between the Indian media and the Indian team has kind of broken down. I think there is a lot to be desired there. And my final point is the BCCI needs to sit the captain, coach, senior players down and say, for the sake of Indian cricket, what happened on this tour, dressing room leaks, something coming out,
happen again.
can't happen. Whatever your problems are, you have to sort out closed doors within that change room. You cannot let the outside world speculate that Team India is divided and Team India is not united. Your thoughts on that?
100%. 100%. Anything that happens in the dressing room should stay in the dressing room. All conversations between a player and a coach, a player and another player should stay there. It should never come out into the public. It should never be out in the open, because you know what? Sport is harsh. There will be harsh words said in the dressing room. There will be very, very harsh calls taken in the dressing room, but that does not mean that should be out in the public. Those, dressing downs or beatings or harsh words or whatever you call it, debates or whatever, should never be out in the public, because not only are you humiliating yourself, you're also putting others' dignity on the line. It should never happen.
I think you said it well. I think you've said it really well. And my final point, don't all of a sudden come and say our Paralympic stars, are winning 29 medals, give them the money. Don't come and say IPL is the blame, is to take the blame for all of this. Don't come and say, why not to hockey? Because this is about Indian cricket. No one has asked people to make Indian cricket the commercial property that it is. It has become a successful sport to go to. So restrict yourself to cricket, because the moment you say Paralympics, Olympics, hockey, you are actually making flippant comments. Flippant comments will not address the question of what went wrong. Do a deep dive. Ask the relevant question, but this social media revolution that you want to do by saying, oh, you know what, divert everything to Paralympics, will not lead to any tangible change. And that's what Indian cricket doesn't want. We'll end the show here. We will continue to analyze what went wrong, because all of us are concerned about the future of Indian cricket. Do watch the platform, comment, constructively engage, criticize, and of course, subscribe to Rev Sports for a holistic, comprehensive coverage. Thank you very much for watching.